And welcome back to the Winning Moment Show. We have a jam-packed show we're excited to share with you guys. I'm joined here by my co-host, Kevin Devaney, and Coach Chris Ward. You'll see the sets a little differently this week. I am here on location in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, while the boys are back in Stanford, keeping everything alive. We have a jam-packed show. Let's get started. Kick us off.
Yeah, why don't you invite us next time? How about that? How would you? Why don't you?
It sounds like a beautiful.
He's on location. Makes it seem like he's on like a movie set or something. He's filming, some like downhill skiing adventure movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where he's like the guy running after and saving the kids from falling.
Or a pack of wolves are chasing him.
Yeah. No, that's John Lim right there. That's
it.
That's what he does. I'm very happy.
Man.
I'm very happy him and Nathaniel are away. Getting to enjoy some vacation before the vacation really starts for everybody, because the regular season ends this weekend. Ends on Monday, President's Day. So we're in the final weekend of Section 1 basketball. Catholic League playoffs are starting up with the diocese tournament and the Archdiocese tournament, and then they go to the city. So this is the best time of year, and no school next week. So what I love about that schedule is, the season ends Monday. It's a holiday. There'll be games throughout the day, and then Tuesday the seeds come out. Everyone talks about that on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the playoffs start on Thursday, and there might be a couple of games Thursday, Friday, first round games, but then that's the round of 16, and then we go into full playoff mode over the weekend. Next thing you know, it's County Center, and it's exciting. It's the best time of the year, Coach.
I love this time of year. I love postseason. I love surveying and studying the matchups and seeing who's going to end up where because of, who wins, who loses, who ends up with the home games. And as we all know, when playoff basketball comes in our section, a lot of this has to do with matchups and seeding.
Yes. And who's home. And
who, absolutely.
And referees in different counties and all these little things that matter.
Oh, boy.
Listen, I got to tell you. So last night I get home and I get home from my daughter's game, and I'm like, I got to put on Suffern, North Rockland. I want to see the score. And the first thing I realized when I turned it on was, oh, my God, that is as full a gym as I've seen since COVID. North Rockland gym last night was unbelievable. Electric. And so the game goes to triple overtime. Suffern wins. Ethan Reitz hits a basket in the closing, under a second to play. And Suffern comes back. They came back at the end of regulation. They were down 6, I think, when I saw. They come back and they win on the road. And amazing environment. Fans, from Suffern stormed the court. It was awesome. And they won 72-70 in triple overtime, North Rockland. And all I thought to myself was, that was the best thing that's going to happen to those two teams, because that environment is so rare now that if they're ever able to recreate that, and they're never gonna have as many fans, I don't know about it, in a home gym again. But to play in that environment and to make shots in that environment is just going to give them everything they need going into the postseason. So that, I thought that was it was game of the year in Section 1. And, North Rockland, obviously it's tough. Aaron Rivera hit this like crazy shot to tie the game 70-70. And then they come down, Suffern comes down the court, and they win it on the Reed's basket. And Pamplina had 29. And listen, he goes on the road, and it's hard for him, man. I mean, not hard, but, he gets crushed by the opposing fans.
Yes, he
does. They're coming off that loss to Nanuet. I think they're a very hardened team. So that was impressive to watch. I thought the way that they handled everything at the end was great. Big weekend.
But you'll remember, Kevin, we had him on the show, right? He said one time that in one of the games that he went to, he had 4 friends. Actually, before the show, he had 4 friends that silenced the entire crowd of the away game team. So, you're right. He's always going to get it. Listen, where I grew up, not in Somerville, like Coach, but in our gyms, you were allowed to say whatever you wanted to say, and the crowds were crazy, and you had to face that. Watching Sebastian play this entire time for 4 years of high school sports, they don't face that at all. So for these kids to face that before the playoffs and going to the county center where everything goes, I think that you couldn't ask for a better coach could not ask for a better warm-up to playoffs than that.
Totally. It's experience you can draw off of. And listen, it was a weird final week. Obviously, we talked about Nanuet beating Suffern in their home gym. It was a huge win for Suffern in Class A. They could maybe now get the coveted top 4 seed, which would give them home court advantage.
2 games at home.
So that's a huge thing in Class A. And to not have to come over to Westchester, it's a big advantage. For teams that have to go over to Rockland, it's a big advantage. And they were kind of sitting in a spot where they were looking at maybe a 6 seed and playing Pearl River in the quarters to go to the county center. That would have been tough, but they are tough. They've been a top 4 seed all season long. And then also in Rockland, Julia Scott breaking the Rockland County all-time scoring record. She does it. She passes Stephanie Cleary and from Tappan Zee with she was amazing in there, and we'll talk about her as this show goes on. She was incredible with her performance against Zavarian on the road on Thursday or Wednesday. So that was a big thing for her. She, you knew she was going to break the Rockland scoring record. She does it, and now she puts herself into conversation with really, Cleary was terrific, but it's like her and this one named Dawn Royster from Nanuet, who's been like easily regarded as the best female basketball player out of Rockland County ever, early 1980s in Nanuet. And now it's like a conversation where you could say, is she the best player out of Rockland County? Because her resume is better. I mean, some people will say, I didn't see her play in 1983. I was 3 years old.
I was a little bit older
than that. Yeah. So she, someone's going to say, well, no, there's no way I saw her play. And, 95% of the population didn't. So it's a conversation now because Dawn Royster has always been held high up. And I made a comment about it. And, of course, some people from Nanuet came running in.
I'm sure they came piling on.
You can't compliment somebody without insulting 10 other people in the same thing. And it's like my least favorite thing. It's like, I'm not trying to slight anybody. And also, I saw mid-1990s basketball, women's basketball, girls basketball. Julia Scott plays in 1983. She might score 76 points a game because it's just a different game. The game has evolved so much. The females are so much more advanced. They put so much more time into it. And I think Julia Scott would just absolutely dominate back then, but that's a conversation for another day. But congratulations to Julia Scott, and we'll talk about her a little bit more. The only other thing I wanted to talk about was I always say I do the Inside Stepinac basketball podcast, and the show this week we didn't have a guest. I think John's setting up his chair. I think he knows where I'm going with this. And the thing that came out of the show this week that I was really interested in was Pat Massaroni always talks about how he's the head coach. Talks about how he wants to run Stepinac basketball like a college program, right? And he does in every way with the travel and the things they do outside and the way they market their players and promote their players and the relation, everything's really well done. And then he has a job at the school where he is the director of advancement, which is all about fundraising. His whole job is, he was at Rayo's this week hosting probably $1,000 a plate lunch for,
wow.
So like they do this stuff to promote and to raise money. His job is to raise money for the school, helps keep the school going and thriving. And I said, man, those are two things that a college would really love, wouldn't they? The ability to coach, run a program, and fundraise. And I put him on the spot on the show, and I said, would you ever consider coaching? Would you want to coach Division I college? And he brought up Nate Oates at Alabama, and he brought up Danny Hurley, two very successful
high school coaches.
Guys who coach high school basketball like in this era. Now, we're not talking about guys who did it, they had a year at some school and then they worked their way up the rank. Like, no. These are guys who went from high school to Division I. And I just, coach, and you guys have seen him, John, you've seen him coach. I don't see why he wouldn't get this opportunity at some point, if not pretty soon, especially considering what they've done this year.
I think Pat runs his program like a D1 program. Mm-hmm. I mean, other than like a public school where you're kind of handed the kids you're handed because they live in the area, Stepinac, right? Not that they're recruiting, but they're a recruiting school. Yeah. Anyone can go there. Anyone that can afford to go there or play basketball or scholarships, they can go there. So he has that. His entire program and the way he coaches and the way he talks on the media, the way he handles your show, the way he did hours at the county center, all of that tells me he's ready for D1. Mm-hmm. And let's not kid ourselves. I mean, the kids he's coaching are D1 kids without the college experience of maturity. So he's coaching less mature kids at a D1 level already.
Yeah.
Any college looking for a coach that would not take him as a coach, I think is
he could probably go coach Division I next year and have guys who couldn't start on his current high school team.
There's no doubt about that.
No, absolutely.
You have three McDonald's high school All-Americans.
Yeah, totally.
It'd be very hard pressed for a kid who's a low to mid-major player to play over them.
So, Coach Ward, I want your thoughts on this. This is the whole point here. Is your thoughts here as a coach? Is it just so simple to say, well, the guy raises money and he has a high school successful high school program, and he attracts the best players. Like, is it that easy to go to Division I level?
It's not that easy. I think with regard to Nate Oates, he coached at a very high level in high school basketball in Detroit.
Minnesota. Yeah, Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit, I think he was at Romulus, I believe.
Yeah, very good.
Romulus High School. So that competition level is crazy. High level basketball, and people don't understand that. And then you go to Danny Hurley, who was at the Patrick School.
And St. Benedict,
St. Benedict.
Yeah, but he was at both.
Yeah, he was at both.
St. Benedict's where he made his mark. Yeah.
Right, where he made his mark and got in. And when you're at that level in New Jersey, and that, as we know, all of us know, is a very high level in New Jersey, I think the thing is, do they have the basketball knowledge and content to be successful at the Division I level? Can they coach at the Division I level? That's number one.
Yeah.
And then number two, do they have the other things like what Pat has? The ability to fundraise, the ability to get alumni on board, the ability. I mean, we were at the county center. Pat had the table set up for the Stepinac people to watch the Iona game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that
he's a master of detail.
Yeah, I'm sure that was, a fundraising event as
totally.
well.
It absolutely was.
And so he has that innate ability to do that. Danny had that also. And Nate got that from Bob Hurley Jr. At Buffalo.
Yeah.
And then so you're talking about a situation where I think Pat's in a unique situation that I wouldn't be surprised if he does get it, that he would be successful.
No, absolutely. I just wonder if the opportunity is going to come another part of the country, or is it going to be in the Northeast? Like that's more what I'm curious.
They're going to be. There's
it's gonna have to be local.
It's not. Yeah, I don't think it'll be local. I think it'll be on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Because of people that hit the program.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you. So people, the basketball coaching abilities obviously are there, but if there's any question about you get to hire assistant coaches too. You get to hire guys who are X's and O's masters. Iona. Have you ever seen Iona University games recently?
Yes, I did.
Multiple rows of coaches. Like, I've never seen anything like this. The guy, Dan Giroux, done a great job with the program, and he's just attracted players and stuff, but he has more coaches than I've ever seen.
It was crazy. I saw them play against Ryder, and I'm like, geez, look at their staff.
I know, they have a big staff. So I feel that there's an opportunity for him awaiting at some point. The time might be right if it happens, because guys are going to get fired from their coaching jobs in the next 2 months.
There are people in the hot seat right now.
Yeah, 100%. So it is.
Listen, for him and his family, I hope he does.
Yeah.
For Westchester basketball, I mean, he's been a star for us in Westchester and Section 1 and all the area. Like, not only from the show that you do with him, him putting on the media side. I mean, it would be sad. We suffer a big loss if he left. Yeah. But for him and his family, he deserves it, and I wish him. Hope he gets one.
Yeah, he says high school coaches aren't sexy to hire for colleges. You don't win the press conference, and that's really what a lot of it's all about for alumni and stuff. Yeah. So I understand that part of it too. His words this week that it kind of resonated, and some people were intrigued by it.
John, Kevin, if he does leave, it creates a real vacuum effect on who steps up next. I'm just going to leave. I'm going to put it out there with regard to getting the type of players that they've gotten and raising the level of intensity as far as certain schools having a guy in that position. I'm just going to leave it there.
All right. I like it. We'll leave it at that. Real quick before we move on, this is the worst time of year for me when it comes to getting text messages from people asking about how does the seeding work? How did the playoffs work? How did the teams qualify? John Lim tried to drop some things. No, was it John that did it? Somebody asked me, hey, what's the seed going to... It's all, literally I have my computer open. I'm getting them right now. So just go on game day one. It's all there. That's what I'm gonna say. It's all there.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because Blimeger's coach, right? Coach John Aguilera. He sent out a detailed Excel spreadsheet to all the parents. Okay, here's the options. Here's what happens. Here's this. Here's that. Here's that. Everything you could possibly imagine to figure out when the games are and how they play. So, Kevin, I can only imagine how your phone is blowing up. And
well, you didn't help John Lim. You did not help John Lim when you said it was a subjective seeding process.
Poisoning.
And you put that out in the air, and then all of us, Kevin Devaney's been nothing but absolutely hammered on it ever since.
We can go back to all the tapes. I never said subjective anything. I just said, hey, I was getting a lot of heat about the bracketology. Okay. And we set it on air. It's done mathematically by a machine.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, I'm actually writing back to Coach Nick Benora from Pleasantville, who's writing me during the taping of the show.
Had a big win last night.
Big win last night, yes. Yeah, they're playing well. They really are. I give him a lot of. He might be the coach of the year in Class A.
He's right
awesome.
there.
I mean, Ryan McWilliams and his good buddy James Morales have all been great.
They've done great.
It's going to be interesting. There's a chance you can have those three guys at the county center, and not obviously Pleasantville had to pull off an upset, but they can make the county center. You might have three coaches in their 20s. When's
the last time that has happened?
No, it's not. And then poor Jerry Houston, might be the deal. Or Dave Masterson and Nanuet. I mean, they might.
Two, I love those two guys too.
Oh, they're gonna love going to get some kids.
Yeah,
So it's good. But that's it. Those are our headlines for the week. Bracketology season, playoff season. It's a lot of fun.
There's nothing like this time of year.
No, it's great.
It really is. Postseason is fantastic in our area, and we do it. I have to say this: we really do it different here, and and I'm going to refer back to where I grew up, in Somerville, South Carolina. Here in Section 1, there's so much excitement, so much buzz about. Our playoff system and our section playoffs. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. So, John, we moving on now to our players and teams of the week. Let's do it.
Let's go. The boys' players of the week.
Boys' players of the week. We start. Talk about Jerry Houston. How about his son Ryan Houston? They closed the season 15-5. Pretty much where I thought they would be as a team. Just their schedule was really difficult. The Rockland County schedule, TZ, was just as good as they've been. They were supposed to take a little bit of a step back. They didn't at all after winning the championship last year. But they're moving down from AA to A. So 15-5 against the Rockland County schedule. He had 17 points against Suffern in that loss to Suffern, and then 25 points in a win over Bronxville, and 17 points against Albertus Magnus on Thursday to close out with 15 wins on the season. So Ryan Houston, the coach's son. With a big finish this season. Obviously, Orr has been great. Lanice has been great. This whole team, you need 3 consistent scorers at this time of year.
We've been talking about 3 consistent scorers from episode 1.
Yeah.
And if they can get 3, they're difficult out.
Keep them on the court, and obviously 15-5, they're going to get a top 4 seed. So 2 home games to go to the county center, maybe even just 1 if they get a bye. So that's where they are. So Pearl River and Ryan Houston is first. We're going to split it up. We're going to share 2 players in the same team. It's hard to separate Henry Shoemaker and Carson Miller. Shoemiller, we'll call them. So they've been awesome. I like that. They've been awesome. Obviously from the football season, 15-4. They 15-4 record entering Friday night, tonight's game. At Aona Prep, which is going to be tough, facing off against a lot of their friends they grew up with from Rye. But what they did in the section, they won 6 games in a row. I kind of preemptively said they've arrived, they're basketball ready, and then they got crushed at home by Suffern. And that might have just kind of put the light bulb back on for them. They've won 9 out of 10, lost only to Woodlands, which, a lot of teams are going to lose to Woodlands.
Woodlands is very talented. We've talked about Woodlands. They're very talented.
They go and beat Clarkstown North the way they did, and that was kind of a statement because Clarkstown North is Suffern. Clarkstown North, highly regarded as a top team in Class AA. Miller averaged 22 points this past week. Just so good defensively. Shoemaker, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks in the games this week, and did a terrific job defensively on Rotimi Assiso. In that game against Clarkstown North. So those 2 are going to split my second nominee for the Player of the Week.
Okay.
All right. And my third player for Player of the Week, guy we haven't talked much about from Tappan Zee is Christian Sanchez. Led the team in scoring in all 3 games. So the thing that makes Tappan Zee so dangerous is that every game could be a different guy. But Sanchez seems like he might be establishing himself as the scorer on this team, which doesn't mean he's playing the best but he's been consistently 17-2 record. They finished the season against Albertus Magnus on Saturday, 19 points against Westlake, 15 points against Mayapack in a win, 14 points against Harrison. So I know you saw Tappan Zee this past week, Coach, and you were impressed.
Yes, Sanchez, I have written in my notes, skilled, sneaky length, and he's not afraid of the moment.
No, and that's the key. I mean,
and he looks to score. He's aggressive looking to score.
Yeah, Isaiah Lavelle and Jack Bacone are seniors, and you think that at this time of year it's all going to have to fall on them when it comes to big baskets. It doesn't. And the thing that makes them TZ so good is that the fact that those two guys are such willing teammates, right? So there is no hint of ego, man. It's incredible, and it's like
They're so unselfish.
We're dealing with 17 and 18-year-old kids in 2026, where it's like all about how you manage the egos, right? Coach John Lim, you got one of those.
John Lim, John Lim. It's about what? It's about which we talked about, to the detriment or the positivity, whichever way it goes. It's about, a lot of it's about how they handle social media.
Yeah, no, it's exactly it. And John, you know, we all have kids. My daughter is now turning 13 next month, and she's getting more into social media. Last night we had a great win 2 nights ago. She said, "Dad, you finished editing the video yet?" Last night, tough loss. "Dad, you finished editing the video yet?" I go, "We should burn this film. You lost in the you guys." She's like, "All right, let me know when it's up."
Yep. Listen, it's social media, the Snapchat error, like we talked about it plenty of times. Like, the Snapchat thing is my younger son. He told me the other night, I'm like, "Listen, man, why don't you get off Snapchat?" "Dad, that's how I communicate with everybody. We don't text anymore like you old folks. We use Snapchat for our texting." So, yeah, I think, listen, when you talk about the attitudes and the mentality of the kids, to have a team that has no unselfish players, the maturity of that is a credit to their parents, a credit to the coach, and a credit to the kids who are coming together as like, hey, it's hard to recognize in high school, like, these are the best years of your life. Yeah. My dad used to say, these are the best years of your life, enjoy them. Yeah, whatever, I can't wait to get out of high school. I just want to work, make some money. I want to do some other things. I need my freedom. And then you look back later on, you're like, damn, I wish I could go back to high school for a while.
And some, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's so funny, though, and we talk about this. Like, we live in this era of basketball where, like, you're defined by the points you score. And it's not really
not a tap in
Z. And listen, we're highlighting Christian Sanchez because of his scoring this past week and how he's become. But like, it just shows the extra dimension. And it's so funny because you look at the players we've had on this show and talk about, Anthony Ficcarata, Jake Pampolina, and Julius Scott. We haven't had Julius Scott, but Julius Scott obviously setting a record for scoring. Kendall Konigsberg, 2,000 points. And those are 4 players who score like it's nothing. And they all will tell you they just want to win. It's like,
they want the gold ball.
So the kids who have everything that every other player envies, it's just like the 40 points, 45 points in games. It's like, Jake, if you told Anthony Ficcarata, you're never going to score again, but you might win the gold ball, he'd be like, "Let's do it.
I'll take the gold ball."
And it's not because he just wants to, I think he and players like Julius Scott, who've won 2 state championships, she wants that 3rd state title because that's rarefied air as a player, right? And it's like, so the players who have what everybody wants, and their parents, everybody, they want those points. It's like they would do anything to win, just to win a championship. And so it's interesting. It goes to show you that the points era that we live in, it's not all it's cracked up to be, and those players are.
Listen, Kevin, I think Jake said it on our show, and I believe Anthony will say the same thing, and I'm sure Julius would say the same thing. Like, if you had a chance not to break the record, but you were guaranteed a gold ball this season, or guaranteed a gold ball or a state championship, whatever the level you want to have.
You couldn't even finish the question with Anthony.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Give it to me. I won't play. If I could just play defense, give it to me. Like, that's a testament to these kids and what they care about, and that's what basketball is about. It, to me, is still the number 1 team sport where every player not only needs to play offense and defense 100% of the time, they need to know their role, they need to support each other. Like, it's a testament. And to your very difficult nature that you made for this week, because we can't put like a Shoe Miller.
Yeah.
Okay, vote for Shoe Miller. So,
let's do that. Everyone will know what it means. Yeah, Shoe Miller.
I like
Shoe Miller.
Real quick, one more thing about
Miller.
Tappan Z. George Gain kept that standard.
Yeah.
Created that culture. Ryan McWilliams, Tappan Z Dutchman, they're not changing.
No, they have not taken a step back in the things that matter most, right?
Correct.
So I'm sure George his experience in big games on what adjustments to make. Recognize Ryan's probably not there yet as a coach, so like that I'm sure that's going to come. It's only going to come with time. But in terms of the culture and the mentality of the team, like, nothing has changed. I mean, it's remarkable to think that. So, all right. So those are our players of the week nominees.
For the boys, let's now move on to the girls.
We didn't pick. We
got to pick John.
Oh, yes. We moved a little too fast for that. Okay, so Coach, you set us off.
I love Coach's sons.
I knew it. Oh man, I wish I said that.
I love Coach's sons, and I'm gonna, obviously go with Ryan Houston at Pearl River. It's got to be distinct. I know Jerry doesn't show it outwardly, but he's got to be very proud of the season his son has had this year,
totally.
and to evolve and to make the jump that he made individually from last year to this year as a player. He's got to be very proud of his son. So I'm going with Ryan Houston as my player of the week, Pearl River High School.
I'm going to go Christian Sanchez because this is the dimension that Tappan Zee might need to get over the top. Is a third guy, another player, and just teams are going to watch a lot of film on Tappan Zee over the next, that are going to play in the county center and play for a championship. And a lot of the film they watched to this point, up to this week, just changed a little bit. So,
yes, it did.
Yeah, it did. And he's been great all year. It's not saying it, but it just. Man, he's taken the step and he's gotten more confident, and as you expect.
And
so,
what year is he in?
Sophomore.
Oh man,
yeah, so he's only sophomore.
Crazy, it's crazy.
Those are our players of the week for the boys. For the girls, let's stick with sophomores. A sophomore, and talk about a player who does all the things that make her team not just score points. It's Maddie Becerra from Pleasantville. So she's my first nominee. Sophomore guard, obviously led them to the county center. Helped them get there as an eighth grader. She's just terrific. 13 points, 16 rebounds against Brewster in that win. 17 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. So she's just a stat stuffer. Did that against John J. Cross River in a win. And then 11 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists against Hen Hud. Pleasantville they're there. They're right there. They have a chance to go to the county center again, get a top 4 or 5 seed, and play for the right to go to, maybe get Tappan Zee in the semis. Maddie Becerra, you really, again, you can look at stats and you can look at, tweets about who's led the team in scoring. But if you watch the game, it's like everything sort of success starts with her. And the other girls, I think the biggest obstacle for Pleasantville in a lot of ways is that all their girls are just elite level athletes in other sports.
They really are good.
It's really hard.
Things,
and Maddie is a great lacrosse player also, but she's a basketball player. And she's got the best basketball mind. And the other girls are just going to take a little extra time. And this is exactly what happened 2 years ago, where it just needed some extra time. They went on the road. They beat YMA to get to the county center 2 years ago, and then they lost at the buzzer. They were right there. They really had a chance to win.
Right, no, absolutely.
And so they're there again. I mean, it's a more difficult road than it was 2 years ago. But Maddie's just such a high IQ player. It's really impressive. And, she's grown 5'9", now 5'10".
When she leaves, her and Tomaselli going to get a pension check.
I know.
They've been there forever. They've been those two girls have been there. Maddie's been there forever.
Yeah. And Karaki's been great. So they have players. It's just and Dan McGann is he's the head coach. He's done a great job of opening up things on both ends, being a little bit more aggressive defensively, running a little bit more, and I think they're kind of primed for a good postseason run. So Maddie Becerra is our first player of the week nominee. Next one is Izzy Doherty out of Hastings, a junior, a player I don't think we've talked about at all this year. She had career high 38 points, 10 rebounds, 3 steals in a win over Mount Vernon on Monday. She had 20 points against Byram Hills last week. So she's come on, and Hastings, it's going to be tough for them to contend, but the door's open in Class B. So, she's a different dimension player, and she's playing with a high level of confidence right now at Hastings. So, Izzy Doherty is our second player, and then our third player is someone by the name of Julia Scott, Alberta's Magnus. Again, broke the Rockland County scoring record on Wednesday at Severian. In that win, she was just so darn good. She broke the record held by Stephanie Cleary at Tappan Zee. She had 19 points, 25 rebounds, 3 blocks against Severian. She had 26 points, 13 rebounds against R.C. Ketchum in the win on Monday, a blowout win. She had 6 3-pointers in the game. 6 3-pointers. She's 6'3".
I want to go back to 2 episodes ago where what did we talk about? I said she's got a good stroke. She didn't make them, but she took them. And if she can step out, because now that the great equalizer for her is that ability to make open threes like that when she gets to that other school upstate in South Carolina.
Yeah. No, she's the other's Clemson. You couldn't say you can't
no. There's
can't say
two type of fans in South Carolina. Two type of people: South Carolina Gamecock people and purple and orange upstate people.
who don't say the name of the school. Wow.
I love Clemson. No, I'm teasing. Clemson. I got a lot of Clemson friends, and I love them. Yeah, but she'll do a great job at Clemson.
You know,
she will.
John, do you have a college team that you root for? Do you have a favorite college in any sport?
No.
No, me
I
neither.
don't.
You grew up in New York. You were a New York Bronx kid. Then up. We just don't like the college thing. To me, it just doesn't.
It's
I don't
a
have
big-
a team.
it's
I've
a big
tried.
deal.
I went to Fordham.
Kevin, it's because we have things like the Yankees.
Yeah, you're right.
You have
things
pro
like
teams.
the
You have pro
Giants.
teams. Our pro teams
Right.
are down
Knicks.
south, and then when you grow up in the Southeast Conference area, you know the region. It just means more.
I get messages from people like, "Oh, good job by the Rams," and I'm like, "Clarkstown North? Like, who are we talking about?" They're like, "Fordham." I was like, "Fordham what?" And like, "You went to Fordham?"
Fordham
I'm like,
Prep?
"I did, but like a long time ago. I didn't play on the team. Like, I don't know. I just don't. I even the school I went to, I don't have the connection. You know, it's just
Right.
it's just not my thing." But
Julia's going to have an impact at Clemson. She really will.
you just said Clemson again. That's twice
I
you said in the
know.
show.
Twice she's gonna get it.
Because
I
I
imagine
got
his
people in
phone's gonna
South
blow up.
Carolina. If I said and I left it at that, would not be happy with me when I come back home.
So the 6 3-pointers to me was
that's
pretty impressive.
fantastic. That's
That's-
fantastic.
So yeah, Albertus is moving along, looking like they're going to win.
The double doubles, though. I
love.
love the double doubles. I mean, to be a beast on the boards and to score those points. I mean, she's 6'3". She should be a beast on the boards, but 6 3-pointers, 2 double doubles,
Yeah,
both sides of the floor.
fantastic.
I think I would love to know last time she didn't get a double double. Maybe in a blowout
when
where
she was
sat, yeah.
when she was in the 5th grade.
I know. So
Yeah.
so those are our 3 players of the week. Nominee.
All right,
Coach,
Kevin,
let's
kick
go
us off.
first,
Who are you
Coach.
voting for?
I get to go first.
Yeah, you got to go first.
I'm going to go with another coach's kid,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maddie Becerra.
All right. Yeah.
Pleasantville High School. Let's not forget that
Her father's a football coach.
Her father's an outstanding
Mother's a coach,
and
yeah.
mother's coach.
Yeah.
But dad, a very successful coach over there. And Maddie seems like she's been around for a long time.
I'll tell you, there's something to be said, and I feel it. Your son probably benefited from going to games and watching
Absolutely.
and seeing things like the county center and seeing, she was in the dome. I remember as a little girl, her dad won the state championship with her and her brothers hugging her dad. So like being around success and being around big games, it really makes you like,
There's no
she's
doubt
never going to
about
be fazed by this stuff. And I'm trying to make my kids, my son goes to the county center, my daughters go, we take them there. And I feel like they'll like absorb it. Right. I think
Absolutely.
it matters. I think Maddie's,
it
that's
does.
a big thing. So you took
Maddie Becerra, Pleasantville High School.
all right, that's your player of the week. She plays for Empire. I'm gonna go with the other girl from Empire, which is the AAU program. Julia Scott, Albertus Magnus. She's gonna be my player of the week. It's hard to keep ignoring how good how great she's been, and she just continues to. You worry about fatigue, like John, your son's a senior. Is at the end of his senior year. It's like it's a lot of basketball, man. Over this time.
Yeah.
She obviously played a lot more late into her seasons than some of the most players do, obviously with the state tournament runs. But she seems like she's getting like that second wind. We saw her at the county center. She wasn't on her game as much as great as she's been of late. And I think she's just locked in right now.
I don't know who. Let's be honest. I don't know who beats them. No. I really don't.
Nobody. I don't think in this section. I
No.
think you look around, look at the scores, and you're like, these aren't even really competitive when they're facing other AAA teams.
No, they're that good.
It's just going to be them and Shaker, I think, in the States.
At the end.
Yeah, at the end. So out of Albany region. So those are our players of the week. Move on to our teams of the week, John.
Yes, sir. Let's do
Boys
it.
team of the week. Yeah, I had them in my studio for my Game Day 1 show. It was Mamaroneck, claimed the league championship for the second time in 3 years. The senior class, we've won 10 games. And the 10 seniors have won 52 games over the last 3 years, which is pretty remarkable considering the league they're in, the competition they're in, and the fact that they've never done it like that before. This is the greatest era of Mamaroneck basketball they've ever had.
Ever.
Yeah. And so Will Plunkett, 20 points, 10 rebounds. He has over 500 career rebounds. And Brandon Burrell, 19 points, 5 assists. This was in the win over New Rochelle this week. Those two guys, the credit to them for, we talked about this when I interviewed them, was about you can't win as a two-man team. Like, you just can't do it. As good as they are, they really, and I saw when I watched them against Mount Vernon that they are understanding that it can't be a two-man team. It just can't be them, Brandon Burrell. Brandon Burrell's thing is he's another one of these guys that wants it so bad. He wants to win so bad.
Yes, he does.
And sometimes I feel like it kind of makes him think like, I have to do it, right? And that just can't be the way. And he's matured a lot this season as a player, and we've watched it over the last couple weeks. And listen, they're going to the playoffs. It's going to be the number 1 seed and the favorites to win the gold ball, which is something we've never said before.
John, Kevin, we've been here. I've been here for 24 years. You guys have been here for a lot longer. What Ty Carver has done over at Mamaroneck is astounding.
Yeah.
Because if you remember where they were, who they were playing against when they first started, they weren't even. I don't think they were even in the league with White Plains, New Road, and Mount Vernon, or they didn't.
Oh, I spilled my coffee.
But they weren't even at that.
Oh yeah, no.
At that level,
they started the season 0-6. I said this on the show the other day. I said to him, you started the season 0-6 with 2 league losses to Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, and White Plains, and then it was the Scarsdale games could swing whether you.
Yeah,
won
they
a
could
league
split
game.
Scarsdale
And
depending
it was
on the
tough.
year.
And so there was times when over the years there's been times when he just didn't know he didn't have the teams. He had to maybe opt out of a league game.
Right.
And I think he figured out I can't run from these. I can't just I can't have excuses, right? I can't just say, "Oh, Mount Vernon is just so great. We're never going to be." No, let's figure out how to do it. And you know what he did? He went to Mount Vernon's coach Balsamino and built a relationship, and Spencer Mayfield, who's like his mentor, and just emulated what they do with their programs. And really, what it is just a matter of time and relationship with the players and growth and off season and
I think he's gotten better. And I've told him this. I think he's gotten better and more creative offensively, which has made them very different and much harder to guard. He was always an outstanding defensive coach.
Yep.
From learning from Spencer and Bob Semino, Spencer Mayfield. But as far as offensively, he's gotten a lot more creative, and it's helped their team.
Yep. Horace Greeley, team that's gotten a second wins in the second half of the season. They've won 7 in a row going into Friday night against Carmel, who they just beat. Carmel's been playing tough. We haven't really talked about them, but they gave Greeley a challenge, but they closed out the season with their second league matchup. Jake Sheehy, we talked about him last week as our Player of the Week nominee, but Jackson Thomas, 17 points, 5 assists against Carmel on Wednesday. He had 10 and 6 rebounds against Brewster. Levi Sack had 13 points, 6 assists against Carmel, 10, 7, and 6 against Brewster. So, those guys are all kind of figuring it out, right? And so Greeley loses at home early in the season to, they lost to Scarsdale. We saw them lose to Yorktown and kind of knocked them down a little bit as a contender. But I don't think there really is a favorite. And I think that it's very matchup based in Class AA. Going to playoffs.
Pair, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's going to be that. So they're 15-4.
If Jackson Thomas, we had Jackson Thomas for years in our program, camp, player development. He played with us for AAU. We've assisted in his development. If he shows up and helps Sheehy and the other Levi, if those 2 kids will show up now, they've got a chance to make a run to the county center.
They definitely do.
But Sheehy can't do it like we talked about. John, he cannot do it by himself. Those 2 kids have got to show up for Greeley to have a shot.
The toughness of this team was impressive.
You need an X factor, right?
Yeah.
There always has to be an X factor in the game, and usually that's the person that we don't get to talk about as much because, one, we only have 1 hour a week to talk about kids, and there's so many kids to talk about. Next year, maybe we'll figure out how to put that together, but you need an X factor in the game. Otherwise, and that's usually the number 3 of the day. It doesn't have to be the third player of the team, but there's someone that changes the game, the dynamics, whether it's defense or offense. That's how you win. And that's why basketball is still, again, I'm biased, but it's the number 1 team sport in the world.
Yeah,
yes,
I agree.
Absolutely.
And I give Greeley credit because their season was kind of looked like it was going to take a downturn at one point. And these guys just wouldn't let it happen. So
and Coach Simone, Matt Simone wouldn't let it happen
No,
either.
definitely not. So that's that. And then our final team for the Team of the Week nominees, I've really tried this year with we've all tried, not just me, but in terms of saying the developmental teams, they've given them some light. So Saunders is 13-5, 1 game left. They're undefeated in the league. Obviously, they're going to make the playoffs. I know people have asked me hey, developmental teams make the playoffs. They're automatically the last seed. And then however many qualify, they'll be the last seeds going in. So Saunders is going to come in with their 10 seniors and give it a go in the playoffs and see what they
Why
can
not?
do. They're unbeaten league play. They beat Yonkers twice. Alex Vasquez, 24 points against Sleepy Hollow. He had 34 against Roosevelt, who's a legit contender in Class AA. And he also became the school's all-time leading scorer at Saunders.
Amazing.
So congratulations to Alex Vasquez and the Saunders team, which was, listen, there's a lot of people, and this was going to be a little bit of a topic, I thought at the top, but with bracketology and this stuff, and people are like, well, why are the developmental teams getting to be in the playoffs, right? So they opted to go into a different league and play basically, like Yonkers teams. You had Sleepy Hollow did this, and it was basically to not have blowouts. I mean, it's just like
Absolutely.
And next year the rule changes, so only the league champion can go into the playoffs, which I think is probably the best thing to do. But in the past, so they're 13-5. I think they're going to get maybe 14, maybe a 15-win team. So in years past, they would have played a couple of non-developmental league teams and probably lost those games. So more. So even if they were 10 or 11-9, the system was set up where they would still be like a top 8 seed.
Correct.
So I think this is better for all the teams involved. I know some people are critical of this whole system, but I think it's better. It's really meant for other sports, but
I think it allows for our section, John, Kevin, I think it allows our games to be much more competitive.
Yeah.
And it gives parity to high school basketball because now we know, and no knock on the teams in the developmental league. But if you're going to go play somebody who's in that league and you know you're going to beat them by 30, what's the benefit? Who benefits from that?
No
one.
no one.
They don't benefit from that. And your team, if you've got a good competitive team at the high school level in Section 1, you don't want to do that either.
No, I agree. So a good example this year is
listen.
Peak Skill. I'm sorry, John, go on.
What I was going to say is I think it's important to take a moment to remember we're talking about high school sports.
Yeah, exactly.
For
That was
all the people that are giving Kevin shit about bracketology, okay, when it comes to developmental teams, we're high school sports, number one. Number two, if you don't know what the developmental team is, it's troubled kids that have a chance to finish high school and actually have some sports and play those things. This is not like some special ed only.
Yeah,
like,
nobody is gaming the system here. I mean, this
No,
is
absolutely
no
not.
one's doing anything. It is. We can get into a whole deeper conversation on this, but it's like some of these schools don't have the resources, the feeder programs, the rec leagues, the ability to play AAU basketball, the ability to go to Coach Ward camp. Like, it just doesn't exist.
Right, exactly.
And so that's why they're in the league. It's not that just they're bad at basketball. I mean, that's to me is why the existence of this is important for the entirety of high school basketball.
It makes it a great experience for everybody involved in this structure.
If you want to look at numbers and say, well, they would, they're going to get in the playoffs over Eastchester, and Eastchester beat them by 20 points. Okay, I get it. Yeah. So I'm just, but that's not what it's all about.
No.
That's my whole point. That's not what this is all about. Stop taking it so seriously sometimes. It's my whole life, and I say stop taking it so seriously. Like
Ditto. Ditto.
So, all right. So those are our three. We went off a whole different road there. 3 teams for teams of the week.
Real quick, I want to. I'm not putting him up for nomination, but I do want to give somebody an honorable mention.
Who's that?
And that's Haldane High School boys.
Oh yeah, you know what? I thought about that, and I feel they really should have been.
I'm going to let you speak on what took place with Haldane boys, and I'll interject like I normally do.
I don't know what the heck happened in that game, but they beat Dobbs Ferry, and like they ran away.
They
from it.
15-pieced Dobbs Ferry up in beautiful Cold Spring?
Cold Spring, yeah.
Yeah, very scenic area.
Very scenic area. And a lot of snow up there right now.
Like Steamboat, like Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
We all can't. Some of us have
to
drive to Cold Spring to go to Steamboat Springs.
We have to
so,
get that.
So they go and they, Anthony Figueroa scored 40 points. They won by 15. Like, that was interesting. Like, what did Joe Virginamo do? But, was it like, hey, we're not gonna, what is our defense against him? I'm very curious to see, because that would be a film that some coaches will probably want to get their hands on, to be like, how did they pull this off?
Right.
With a team, the Haldane team that has not, it's not like
Haldane. No, they've struggled this year.
Big time.
But credit to Coach Virginamo and their group for.
They're 7-13.
Right.
And they beat the number 2 team.
Right.
And
who only lost to Byron by 5.
I know. Yeah. So they're like, I don't know. This is a huge win for Haldane. You're absolutely right. That should have been. Do you want that to be your team of the week? Are we going to go for 4th? Who do you like? Who do you like your team of the week?
It's playoff time. It's playoff time. So we could. Everything changes during playoff time.
Busting
Coach.
our own
Go ahead,
brackets
go
here.
for
Yeah.
it.
Who's your team of the week, Coach?
Give them to me again, Coach.
Mamaroneck. This is what we don't have cards.
all right.
I told you I wasn't going to remember.
I know. So you got and I got on a Haldane tangent.
You did.
And then I lost my
Mamaroneck, Horace Greeley, Saunders, and Haldane.
I'm gonna go with Mamaroneck High School. Ty Carver. I've known Ty a long time, and I've watched the evolution of his program, and I've watched the evolution of how he's done things. And my team of the week is Mamaroneck Tigers and Coach Ty Carver.
That was mine. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Horace Greeley because I love. Like I see teams every year start strong, have some good wins, and then things don't go well and they go south.
tank.
They don't come back. I'm gonna give Horace Greeley my vote because I like the way they've come back. I thought they'd come back really strong, and they win on Friday night. Going to go into the playoffs as a top 4 seed, 16 wins. Great season for them. So
That's fantastic.
and very much. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's no, right now to get to the county center. If all the top 8 teams advance, you're going to have Suffern's going to beat Fox Lane. Not going to be easy. That's a 1 versus 8. Yorktown to beat Mayapack. Not going to be easy at all. That's a big rivalry. Clarkstown North and Poughkeepsie. That's a tough one. Greeley Rye. I think any one of those 8 teams, you can make any combination. And the 4 teams that show up at the county center, none of it would surprise me. So I think all 8 have a chance.
It's a wide open field.
Totally. And
Very
Lakeland,
exciting.
and so Lakeland's the number 9, plays Fox Lane in the first round if it stays. Lakeland's dangerous. Roosevelt's dangerous. So we can go all the way down the row here. Harrison's dangerous. So the AA
I saw
bracket-
Harrison play. They're very talented.
Yeah. And the younger McCoy's coming along.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, Matt McCoy's all-time leading scorer in the school, and I don't know, he might be the all-time leading scorer in his house in a couple of years.
McCoy, Badner, and Ianello are really
Jack
good.
Badner's great quarterback, and just
Cole Presto, sophomore, Krupe and Cole McCoy and Briota.
Yeah.
It's a good core.
yeah,
They're good.
They're good athletes, good football players.
Absolutely.
Too, so. All right, so now we finish up with our girls' team of the week nominees. Going back to my notes here. First, we're going to go Kennedy Catholic. They've had an up and down season, but they've gotten some good wins recently. They beat St. John's Prep on senior day, beat him 48-36. Reese Carlo had 28 points. Maddie Aragali had 14. They beat Cardinal Spellman. Carlo had 28 in that game. Aragali had 17. So they've continued to just kind of work. They're in a tough division in the AA. But Kennedy Catholic is my first team, and obviously we know how good Reese Carlo is. Coach.
We do. I've known her for a long time.
Yeah.
She's a gym rat. She works very hard, and she's had to step up, scoring more with the transfer situation that took place over there this past year.
Totally. So our next team is Ossining. They beat Irvington 78-38 on Saturday in the Pauline Rickey Showcase. And then they defeated Rye, defending champion, 68-61. Claire Schnecker, 22 points, 20 rebounds against Irvington, 15-15 against Rye. I mean, she could have been Player of the Week. Now she probably leads the league in Player of the Week nominees, but we didn't include her this week. Kenya Green, though, you can't beat Rye with one player, and Kenya Green had 19 points in that win. Taisha Carver also stepped up, Tyrone Carver's daughter.
Yep.
She had 12 points.
Coach's daughter.
Coach's daughter, yeah. So
another one.
She had that. She had a great game against Rye, and listen, she is Taisha Carver is so unselfish. Almost to a fault at times. I
like to see her score more, but she's a great distributor. Defender, she just she does a great job.
You have to match Rye at all 5 positions to beat them, and Ossings is the team that can. So Rye's not going to lose to a team that's going to have a dominant player, a dominant scorer. Ossing can match up all 5. Nanuet can match up all 5. Suffern can match up all 5. So it's going to be interesting. The road for Rye, and we've kind of anointed Rye as the favorite to win, but it is not. It is, if they win, it would still be.
It's going to be very tough.
Yeah, it's not like a true back-to-back, even with the other players. Obviously, Paige Tapatino being out. Our third team of the week. Listen, we talk so much about Kendall Konigsberg as an individual player, but her team has continued to get better over the course of the season. They won 10-0 in league play. They won 3 in a row after losing 3 straight games. So another team that just kind of things were going sideways. They turned things around. She had 32 points against Briarcliff. Ella Rosenfeld had 10 points against Briarcliff. They wrapped the season against Tuckahoe on the road Friday night. So a tough matchup to end. Tuckahoe just beat YMA. So that's a huge turnaround win for them, for the Tigers, who've been playing well as well.
But they've got 2 AAA wins, North Rockland, and they got Ursuline, and then for them to bounce back and beat YMA.
Yeah.
after what YMA did to them earlier in the year.
Yeah, Coach Sill has done a great job with this team because they just didn't look. And I talked to him a lot. He said they just don't have the same feel that we've had. Fatigue, but the problem is this isn't senior year fatigue. This is like sophomore year fatigue for some of these
They've
girls.
been there forever.
So so now you threw a 4th team into our team of the week for girls also. So who do you like for team of the week? What is going on behind you, John? Your boys are going out.
We got some snow removal happening right now off this deck, live on location.
It's like Scream.
Anything can happen on this show. Anything can happen.
They're coming out to fix it.
I'm gonna keep it within the Carver family.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take Ossining girls basketball.
Coach's daughter.
daughter.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Tasia
like,
Carver. Absolutely.
So
And I know
predictable.
another thing, staying on the same team. And I'm gonna say and Dan Ricky, who's done a great job with that group. I'm gonna go with them as my team of the week, Ossining High School.
I'm gonna mimic you again. I'm gonna go Ossining. I picked Greeley, but I'll pick Ossining. We're going to double up here on Ossining because I think that Ossining win over Rye. They play Rye again.
That's a huge win.
So that's a huge win for them. Confidence and listen, seeds are still need to be shaken out in Class AA, and things are interesting because Clarkstown South had to give up 2 forfeits of games they won early in the season. So now they're going to drop. So Clarkstown South kind of lingers at the middle of the pack when they really were like a top 4 or 5 seed team all season long. So. AA is going to be interesting on the girls' side as well. Probably easily the two most, not easily, but the two of the most intriguing. That and Class A boys.
I tell you what, who wants to see Clarkstown South in a lower seed?
No, definitely not. So,
No one.
Nobody. So those are our teams.
Those are our players and teams of the weeks. Remember, we love that Coach and Kevin give us their vote, but your vote is what counts the most. That's how we count the winners. For those who have asked us inside of Instagram, how do you vote? It's always in the comment section. So when you see our post, not stories. Stories you can click and vote, but on our post, you can go in the comment section. All the players and teams will be there. You can simply vote from there as well. We look forward to the feedback. It's been an amazing week of basketball, and I can't wait for the playoffs.
It's only going to get better.
And now let's talk about now let's talk about this segment that I think Kevin does like the most, although he likes a lot of segments.
Yeah.
But the KDJ, Jesus.
Oh boy.
And here, KDJ segment, where we talk about the games of the week coming up, brought to you by SportsEngine.
John Lind's like the only person who doesn't call me KDJ. You know that? Like everybody calls me that. He calls me Kevin. Even my mom.
But what do I call you? I call you Kevin.
You call me Kev. Yeah, sometimes. Like most people call me in the basketball world. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's obviously we don't know many of the games next week. The season really ends on Monday. Iona Prep does have their Archdiocese playoff game against Scanlon for the right to go play Stepinac in the next round. So big game for Iona Prep. North Rockland is at Mount Vernon on Monday afternoon. Little matinee game on the holidays. So we'll
maybe
pull up.
see that. Absolutely.
Yep. Poughkeepsie is at Yorktown on Monday. Another good matchup. The Archdiocese playoffs as a whole, Section 1 playoffs start on Thursday with Class B, and then they go Class A, I think, on Friday night, and then it's all on game day.
Kevin, could you tell our viewers just a little bit about at the top end? It's like Bronx, Westchester. Is it? No, I mean just.
You know what it is? I tell people it's think about college basketball and it's the conference tournament basically. Right. What this playoffs is now. So if Iona Prep or Stepinac don't win their next game, it doesn't mean their season's over. They're in their conference tournament. Yeah. There's Archdiocese, which is Manhattan and Westchester. And then there's the Brooklyn Bronx. Oh, the Manhattan Bronx, Westchester. And then there's the, not Manhattan, Bronx, Westchester. And then you have the Brooklyn Queens Diocese tournament, which is like
and
St.
then
Francis
Staten
Prep.
Island has their own.
Yeah, Staten Island has their own. And so they do all their own tournament. So they have conference tournament, basically. Look at this. The Big East ACC tournament. And then
they have their postseason.
Yeah, and they call it the intersectional tournament, but it's the city championship.
Yeah, it's one and done.
Yeah, that's one and done. And that's where you end up at Fordham. Playing for the title.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Especially for Stepinac, right? They're going to win. That's what everyone says. A foregone conclusion. No such thing in high school basketball.
No, there's
high school
not.
Sports. No such thing.
No, there's not.
Nope. On the girls' side, Irvington is at Osling on Saturday. Good matchup. You have Rye at Irvington's at Ursuline on Saturday, and then Rye is at Osling on Monday. Mamaroneck is at Yorktown on Monday. So there's a lot of things to be settled in the standings and for playoff seeds and bonus points. And these teams are all kind of. It's almost like the NFL schedulers, where they hold that game for Sunday night to decide. Like this is kind of where we're at right now. A lot of things hinge on these outcomes. And just because you think, they're going to beat them, like I'm going to calculate like John Aguilar does. I'm going to calculate the projections based on like you don't know what's going on at another school. Byram Hills loses to Westlake this week and kind of threw things for a bit of a loop.
Yes,
Class A on the boys' side.
and the 8th grader Liam Hannon, 9 points,
Yeah.
11 rebounds, 4 block shots. We're excited. There's some
Good
people
guy.
that
Yeah.
we're excited to be assisting in his
Yes.
development this spring.
Huge
Very
win for them.
excited for him.
And the girls' schedule for the Section 1 playoffs is the same as the boys. So if you go on game day 1, you can find that day by day. So the first, when it's called first round, it's round of 16. Most of these tournaments don't have 16 full teams because there's now 6 classes. And so you may not see Mamaroneck play until the 24th, I think. Is
Crazy,
which
right?
is a long,
I
it's the
know.
13th. That's a long layoff. So momentum doesn't carry too far, through a winter break.
No, well, you're going to have to do, like they always do, John and Kevin. We're going to have to. They'll scrimmage other playoff teams outside of their classification, like they always do, to keep them healthy. Keep them fresh and keep them going, which is a unique situation. That's one thing that's different about our state in comparison to other states. There's not a 2 week. There can be a 2 week time period frame where there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
In other states, no, it's regular season, and then next thing you know, you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, this calendar is weird this year because the county center is always for basketball. It's a booked date with the county, and it's the last week in February, which it ended up being. They do the Saturday, so it's Saturday, so it's the 28th
/ the first week in March.
First week in March. So you sometimes you have it go to like March 2nd. This goes to March 8th.
I know.
This is the way the calendar fell. So then they had to work backwards. And it's like, well, we don't want teams playing. Normally you play right before break. And so the calendar was not ideal this year, but I think we'll all survive.
I agree.
Right. No excuses. There's no excuses. You got to get to the county
you got to
center
figure it out.
you get it.
But that's all I got for this week, guys. And next week we'll have playoff matchups ahead and best time of the year.
Is there anything supposedly happening next week that might be of note to surprise our viewers? That there may be. Is there anything
guests coming in?
Yeah. Oh yes. John Lim.
Let's not give it away.
We
tease it a
we
little
do
bit.
have a guest. We do have a guest coming in next
that's
week.
all. We don't have to say we're going to have a special guest in studio.
We should be having multiple guys. To be honest,
And it won't be John.
School.
It won't be John Lim because he'll
No.
be back from Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
Oh, so he's taking a short 8-day trip.
That was it. Yeah, he'll be
Good
back
for him. Good to get away. Could you give us a little view of what your because we saw the
Look at
out over your shoulder, but
the snow and
the mountain. Can you see the mountain yet or no?
No, we got a whiteout day ahead of us.
The whiteout, and look at the evergreens though in the back, almost like Norman Rockwell-esque.
Yeah. No, it's a whiteout day for the mountain. We won't get tremendous amount of video, although I did get great video of a young man jumping over a flight of stairs on skis, which I don't know how that was even possible, but it'll be up there. Listen, I want to thank everybody for watching the show. We have a lot of things coming up next week. We do have a special guest. We will have special guests coming on from now until basketball season's over, which thank God is not for another slew of weeks, almost a month, 6 weeks, you count states and so forth. Next week, we will launch our program. We will be giving away a bunch of these shirts, not just the Locked In shirts, but remember the shirts that let you create your own human highlight reel with this tag that we have. We're very excited for that. We're excited to bring you more sports, more basketball as we move forward. For all the latest updates on schedules, bracketology, playoffs, the number one source to go is GameDay1.com, which Kevin does a phenomenal job of not sleeping and updating it constantly. So please visit that site as opposed to just texting him, hey, what's going on? Because he puts everything up there. Thank you, guys. Please like and subscribe. Please share this. We love bringing you the show. And it's been another great episode, gentlemen. I appreciate you guys carrying it for the team out there in Stamford, Connecticut. And here from Steamboat Springs, I say goodbye.